Hello and welcome to this lesson, creating your first Pine script. This lesson consists of following section. I'm going to explain what macd indicator is, because in this lesson we are going to create an indicator based on macd indicator. After that we're going to develop macd indicator in Pine script editor, and particularly we're going to set up indicator parameters. After that we're going to be using ta.macd function for macd indicator calculations. After that we're going to be plotting macd indicator on the chart, and also I will show how to detect and fix Pine script errors. So let's begin. In this lesson we are going to develop our first Pine script. We'll create a simple strategy based on the macd indicator. The macd is the moving average convergence divergence indicator, which is a popular and widely used momentum indicator in technical analysis. It is used to identify potential trend reversals and momentum strength. To start developing our indicator, let's access Pine Editor by clicking on Pine Editor button. After that, let's click on the Open menu option and click on the New Indicator menu option. Let's remove the lines that we don't need, and let's name our indicator. Let's give it a name, macd custom. Our indicator is gonna have three parameters, because macd itself has three parameters: fast length, slow length, and signal length. Let's set up these parameters. Every input parameter is supposed to be assigned to a certain variable. In this case, fast length is a variable, and we assign value to that variable, the return from the input parameter. To set input parameter, we use input function, and first parameter for the input function is default value for that input function. Default value for fast length for macd is 12. Next is the title of the parameter. It's a fast length. Fast length. Now we have two more parameters. Second parameter is the slow length. And let's change the parameter name. And default parameter for default value for the slow length is 26 for macd. And the last parameter is the signal length. Signal length, let's update the name of that parameter, and default value for signal length for macd is 9. Now we have set up three input parameters. Next, let's start calculating the macd. To calculate macd, we use the ta.macd function. ta.macd, and the macd function uses four parameters. First, we specify the source. We use close price for each bar to calculate macd. So we type close. After that, fast length parameter for the fast length parameter of the macd indicator. Fast length. Second parameter is the slow length, and the third parameter, and after that the fourth parameter. We used our third parameter that for this indicator, which is signal length. Now this ta.macd function returns tuple. Tuple is the sequence of parameters that used as a group. So therefore to set tuple, we use the brackets. We use brackets, and first parameter in this tuple for the macd function that returns these values is the macd line. Let's call it macd line. Second parameter is the signal line, and third parameter is the histogram. Let's call it histogram line. Histogram line, and histogram line, and so now what we did over here is that this function returns a tuple. Tuple is the sequence of, basically a sequence of values. ta.macd returns sequence of values, of sequence of 3 values. So basically a collection of values, not one parameter, many parameters, in this case 3. Each of these parameters we assign to a parameter of our indicator, right? We have set up macd line, signal line, and histogram line. We can change the name of these parameters, right? But what's important is that we have 3 parameters that we are going to get assigned from the return of ta.macd function. Now, we calculated the macd values. Now let's plot it. macd indicator is an indicator that oscillates around 0 value. Therefore, I want to have to draw the horizontal line at 0 to see when values are positive and negative. Now, to draw the line, we use hline function, and first parameter in that function is the actual price or the value. Then the title, let's call it 0 line, and after that, let's set the color of this horizontal line color. I want to create the color and use the transparency. For that, I use color.new function. The color itself, I want it to be gray, and I want 50% transparency. The reason I want to use transparency because I want gray line to be 50% transparent, not very visible. After that, let's draw all these 4 lines that we received from calculating of ta.macd function. Now let's start from histogram line. Start plotting it. First parameter for plot is the actual series of values that we are plotting. Second parameter is the title. In our case, it's a histogram. Next parameter is the color. For the histogram, I want it's not a line, it's a histogram, it's a columns, it's a sequence of columns. Therefore, I want those columns to be green when they are positive and red when they are negative. So, and because of that, the color will be conditional. And condition will be based on histline values. When histline is positive, then I will use this operator, which is using question mark operator, which I will explain later how it works. Let's type it first. So whenever histogram is positive, I want color to be green. Otherwise, color, I want color to be red. So this is how this works. This whole expression is gonna be green, color whenever hist_line value is bigger than 0 or 0. Otherwise, it's gonna be red. This is specific conditional operator. That's how it works. And the last parameter is the style. So style is not the actual not the second next parameter in this sequence. Therefore, we need to specify its value. As you see in this tooltip, length, it's expecting line width, but we don't want to specify it. We want the style because it's not the next one. We need to specify the parameter name, actually. Style equal, and I want to use the columns plot. To do that, we use plot dot style columns. That's it. We plotted the histogram. Next, I want to plot the MACD line. We are plotting it. We are setting up the title for that plot, and the color for MACD line, I want it to be blue. Color blue. And the last plot in this indicator, we're gonna plot the signal line. We're plotting signal line, and let's call it appropriately signal line, and the color for the signal line, for example, let's use orange color. That's it, we plotted. Now we can save our indicator. It's asking us name. Let's confirm this name. The name of the indicator is over here. As you see in the console window, once we save, it compiles. If there is no error, it's going to be saved. If there was an error over here, then we would get an error line in this console in red. So let's, for example, we made some error over here and we try to save the indicator. As you see, we could not, it saved it, but however, we have an error in our script, and there is some information of that error. The error is happening on the line 14, on the first column of that line, 14 colon 1. So let's go there and fix it. And then let's save it again. So this is how you see the error and how you see where that actual error happened in your code, the location of that error. After we saved our indicator and there is no errors, we can add our indicator to the chart. Let's hide the Pine script editor. We can see that this is our MACD custom indicator. The columns over here, green whenever the value of histogram is positive, and red whenever the value of histogram is negative, right? Then it oscillates basically around the 0 value. And now, as you see, the indicator has the two lines. Blue line is the MACD, orange line is the signal line. Now, when we click on the gear button for this indicator, we can see that it has 3 parameters that we have set in the Pine script. We can change this parameter if we need to. Click OK. And these parameters will be applied to the indicator, and it's gonna change a bit. It's gonna change the visuals. It's gonna change how it reacts to the price. Let's set, for example, 3, and let's set 50, for example. You see, it changes how indicator reacts to the price it's applied to. One more thing is that this indicator has been plotted on the pane below the main chart. There is a parameter in the indicator function that is responsible if you want to overlay our indicator on the chart or not. The parameter name is overlay. By default, it's false. Therefore, we did not specify it. But if this parameter is set to true, for example, for some other indicators, the indicator will be plotted overlaid on the chart. But for MACD, we don't want it to be overlaid on the chart. We want to be plotted at the bottom of the chart on the separate pane, because it is an oscillator. It oscillates around 0 value. So, to summarize this lesson, we built our first simple Pine script, the MACD indicator. I demonstrated how to code the script, how to detect and fix script errors, and how to add script to the chart. This is the end of the lesson, and I will see you in the next one.